Good evening, it's 6:20. Probably gonna have a two-taker today. Here's part one. So I've spent the entire afternoon at my desk working on the Mac and stuff like that. I had no idea High Sierra came out already. I thought they had pushed that into October, November, December. Apparently it came out a week ago. So I talked to everybody, ensured that Wi-Fi still works, speakers still work, display and keyboard still work. They didn't disable any of those features like they did in other updates. So I downloaded it all like 4 or 5 gigs or something like that, installed it. It took forever to install, about an hour. But it does have to totally change the file format of the entire operating system, so that makes sense. Got that installed. Then I noticed that brought Photos back. Remember when they went from iPhoto to Photos a couple of years ago? Photos, when it initially came out, had about the same functionality as Notepad in Windows 98 2nd edition. It was totally unusable. They got rid of everything. It was just a place to dump photos. No albums, no places, no faces, nothing. It was totally neutered. iPhoto needed work. It would only use one processor core. It was written in a day when I don't even think people had dual cores. So you put it on a hyper-threaded quad core with 8 logical cores and it would freak out. It would not know what to do. It would just pick one core, so it took forever. If I were to open iPhoto, it would be, like, not even exaggerating, about 25 to 30 seconds for it to even open. Then if I click on a different album, it's another 15 or 20 seconds while it loads that. It was unusably slow. So, High Sierra brought some nice changes to the Photos app, specifically making it a lot more like iPhoto. They brought back functionality and features and third-party editing, stuff like that. So I opened it up, it instantly loaded, and then there's no wizard or assistant to migrate from iPhoto, so I proceeded for the next 2 hours to do it manually, photo by photo. 40,000 photos. I actually did it album by album, so some albums, and then I consolidated a bunch too. I used to go through like spring 2010, spring 2011. Now there's just one spring album with 1,500 photos in it, so it might be a little easier now to keep that stuff in track, or to keep track of that stuff. Then I find out that if you option click open the application, you can open the iPhoto library in Photos and it will supposedly render it for Photos and bring over data such as face data, stuff like that. Well, that was taking forever too, and I had already done it the long way, so I'm just going to do it manually now. I am going to have to go through 35,000 photos and add back all the face data. So it's going to have to scan 35,000 photos, find faces, half of which will be car tires, moons, anything round that's in a photo it thinks is a face. And then, I mean, this will take me now the entire winter. Every day I'll have to spend a couple hours in there going through and manually adding the face data back. But this is the way Apple works these days. So anyways, it does work. It's really fast. It's a little easier on the eyes, and all functions seem to work pretty quickly. A 35,000 photo library is fairly large, but I'm also running 16 gigs of DDR4 memory and 2.8 gigahertz hyper-threaded Intel Core i7 quad-core processor and dedicated 2 gigs of graphics. There's a shit ton of resources here. There's no excuse for lagging. So that's the update there. I am on my way to meet Megan for dinner now, and also the Apple Store. My iPhone sync cable, I have now realized my phone is older than a year. Therefore, it's out of the Apple Care warranty. They will not be giving me a free cable. I'm going to go in and put my sad face on and try it, but I'm not spending. I'm not sure what sync cables are. I'm going to guess they're $49. They used to be $29. Every other cable and adapter now is $49. So I'm not buying one, but we'll see if I can find the price on that today. So part 2 for today, I was actually successful in getting a new sync cable. That was nice. I got this guy that looked just like Jimmy Butler, and he couldn't have been nicer. He didn't even pull my serial number or any of that. Just gave me a new cable. So that was cool. I went to B-Spot for dinner. That was fantastic. Went back to her place and hung out for a while. It is now 12:24 a.m. It's time for bed. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm not quite sure what's happening tomorrow. I know Roz and Sabrina are headed out of town for the weekend, and Megan's coming down tomorrow night, so maybe we'll hang out with Kenan or something like that. But it was an inside day. I left the computer in there for the last several hours charging and trying to get photos to scan all the photos for faces. It got 5,000 out of 40,000 done in about 6 hours, so that's going to be a very slow process. But that's the update there. We'll talk more tomorrow, Friday. Good night.